What is good, everybody? Yeah, different mirror this time. Tripped you up, didn't I? Anyway, beautiful day. Beautiful day. It's a nice, crisp 82 degrees outside. A little cloudy, so the sun isn't just completely beating on me. Yeah, I'm actually running a little late to meet up with a friend to go get some food. So it might be a little more crazy this video than I normally am now. Not saying I'm going to be sitting here splitting cars, doing 150 miles an hour and stuff like that, but I'm definitely not going to be as necessarily campy as I am in lanes. So yeah, topic of the video for today. Electronics on bikes. Now I've tried making this video several times before, and every time I did it, man, I just didn't like how it came out. Like, I felt like I just kept rambling and everything and just repeating myself. But I just saw another video uploaded on this topic, and I'm like, oh, great, you just gave me a template to go off of. So, yeah, thanks. Anyway, I don't really have too terribly much to say because honestly, in his video, he nailed a lot of the stuff pretty well. I honestly share a lot of the same opinions. With the exception of, obviously I have a modern bike with all the electronics and all the stuff on it. So, I deal with it. I can completely understand why some people may not want it. And it's really personal preference. That's what it really comes down to. So if you're trying to use your bike as kind of like a moon machine, then yeah, you know, all this stuff is going to be problematic. You know, I've got the wheelie control, which small note about how wheelie control works. Wheelie control isn't there to help you do wheelies or anything. It's there to make you faster. Because obviously, if the power of the bike is sending you up like this, it's not sending you forward. So that means you're slower. So what wheelie control does is it basically pulls back on the throttle a little and maintains your wheel being maybe a foot off the ground. Of course, you can use it to do little pow-pows and stuff and to just, you know, oh, I've got my front wheel up a little. You can use it for that, obviously, and it will, for the most part, protect you from being able to loop the bike. But it's definitely not there to help you learn how to do wheelies or anything like that. It's there to make you faster, so that way more of your power is sending you forward than tilting the bike up. But yeah, no, I really think though that a lot of these electronics on here, all the ABS, the traction control, the rider modes, wheelie control, launch control, the quick shift up and down, like, none of that's necessary, and it shouldn't be. If you're the kind of person that you're relying on that, then you're the demographic that doesn't deserve to have it, you know? Like, I could ride this bike with or without all the stuff on it, and I'd be fine. Wheelie control maybe, because I don't know how to wheelie. I really don't. So that does help. I do admit that I kind of do rely on that. But traction control, ABS, I haven't even activated launch control on this thing yet. I've been curious to kind of see how that works and how it feels. But yeah, all that stuff is optional. I can take it or leave it, personally. I like having it there because it does help in the 0.1% of situations where I might actually need it. But then for the other 99.9% of situations, I honestly don't even know it's there. It does absolutely nothing for me. So one could make the argument, well, why are you buying a $20,000 bike if you're not even using all the features on it? Well, good sir, the reason is you're not supposed to. Crazy concept for people that do rely on it, I know, but if your traction control light is constantly kicking on, then you need to get rid of that bike. You cannot handle it. The traction control is not supposed to be there to be a secondary rider. It's supposed to be there for, oops, I gave a little too much throttle in the rain going over the white lines. That's what it's there for. It's not by any means supposed to ride the bike for you or keep you from being able to do stuff that you would normally do. I mean, these bikes are designed for the track. They're track bikes, in fact. So I could take the ZX-10 and I could go throw it on the track and I could have a fun time with it. And if I know what I'm doing, then again, the ABS and the traction control will not hinder me in any way. If I don't know what I'm doing, then yeah, then I would absolutely run into situations where traction control would kick in when I'm trying to do something that I shouldn't be doing. But that's it. I mean, just do what you're supposed to do and you don't even know it's there. It really is that simple. When I say doing things you're not supposed to be doing, I'm not including intentional, you know, like if you want to do rolling burnouts and stuff, and if you have control over the bike enough to do those things, then again, yeah, you're supposed to be doing that. But it's obviously, the system is there not for those people. The system is there for the 99% of riders. I've never really been one that's been against a lot of this kind of stuff, per se. Like, if it has it, it has it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's always been my take. I've owned plenty of bikes that don't have any kind of assist on it. And then the ZX-10 is my first bike to have everything. And then my Ninja 650 had traction control and ABS on it. They were the dumbed down ones, though, which, I mean, that's an entirely different video probably, unless I want to make this video 20 minutes long, because there is a big difference between your dumb systems, like what you'd find on a 650, and your intelligent systems that you'd find on your leader bikes, on your track bikes. They share names, but they are not the same system by any means. Just a quick insight to that. So there's a module in this bike and a lot of other bikes like it that are constantly monitoring your inertia. So how much forward inertia, how much, you know, backward, you know, all that. Side, lean angles, it's measuring everything. The entire vector of what your bike is doing, it's measuring that and calculating it. So on the dumb systems, it will just see wheel spin and immediately do a fuel cut, throttle cut, whatever. Same thing with ABS. It'll detect lockup and it'll just immediately kick in. On these intelligent systems, it's reading everything that's going on, and it's like, oh, well, based off the thousands of hours of data that engineers have collected, in this situation, the wheel locking up or the wheel spinning a little isn't a bad thing. This is actually what's supposed to be happening. So it allows it to happen, it allows it to continue, and it doesn't interfere with your riding. That, like I said though, is specific to the more expensive bikes like this that have the intelligent systems. So from that aspect, again, I can completely see how something like traction control or ABS would be a hindrance, because it's not a very smart system. Something else that he brought up in his video is the electronic throttle. And yeah, no, spot on. It sucks. It really does. I don't think it feels necessarily as bad as like a game controller, because I've had a lot of new bikes. Well, I say a lot of new bikes. I've had several new bikes. And when a bike is well maintained or when it's new, your throttle shouldn't have a whole lot of drag to it. You shouldn't really feel it. You shouldn't have to crank on it like you're trying to wring out a towel. It should flow pretty smooth. It should be pretty easy to modulate your throttle. And honestly, that's a lot how this feels to me. It feels just like even a drive-by cable, just a new bike. Maybe a little less feel to it, but it's not something that's too noticeable if you're used to riding well-maintained new bikes. The thing that sucks about it isn't the feel, it's the fact that they use this electronic throttle and these systems to then put limiters on your throttle input. I mean, if you want to go watch a more Mafia video on a ZX-10 being tuned, he'll show what the mapping looks like and what the tuning looks like. And it's abysmal what these bikes do to your throttle. You're sitting there, you're putting full throttle in, but it's maybe only giving you like 40%, depending on your RPM and your gear. I mean, there's a ton of things, but still, if I put in 100% throttle, then I want to get 100% throttle. That is a one big gripe that I do have. And you can tune it out, yeah, but why should I have to spend $300 on a tune just for my throttle to work correctly? So that is a massive point against new bikes that I think is very annoying, that I think needs to really be looked at. Anyway, I feel like I've rambled enough. Basically, TLDR, because congratulations, I just baited you to watching a 10-minute video to give a 3-sentence rundown of everything I said. New bikes really aren't much different to ride than older bikes. I've ridden them all. Not all bikes, obviously, but you know what I mean. I've ridden old and new. Assists, no assists, intelligent assists, dumb assists. I don't know. I know how to ride, so it doesn't affect me at all. So, long story short, ride your ride. Get the bikes you want to get. Ride what you want to ride. Brothers. And have fun. That's the biggest thing about these bikes is they're here for fun. And if you're not having fun on it, then that bike just isn't for you. There's no harm in that. But that's where I'm going to end it, though. That's about all, everybody. Goodbye.